Hello everyone, I am back with a quick little video. This is going to be a little different because this is mostly going to be a forehand specific video. This is going to be a practice round at B Schmitz Park. Out here it's essentially a huge bowl with 9 baskets, and they're all really short and usually designed for someone using putters, maybe mid-ranges at the most, at the beginner level, just to sort of putt around, have some fun. And that's kind of what I'm going to do. As those who have followed this channel may remember, I've been having a lot of problem with my backhand, but I'm starting to make some progress with my forehand, so that's essentially what I'm going to do. I'm going to be throwing 3 different mid-ranges off of every tee, and then if I need a subsequent heavy throw, I'll probably use another mid-range. But they're essentially going to be an unstable one like the Manta, straight or stable one like the Mako 3, or an overstable one like the Rock 3. And I'm going to use these to sort of train myself on how to use these, and let's see what I can do. The tee pad of number 1 is here. Not my best choice, but I'm not the one that designed this layout. I'm going to start at the edge of this sidewalk that you can't see and throw. I'm going to always try to throw the understable first, then the straight, then the stable. And some of you might remember I can maybe throw 180 feet max sidearm. Wow, I really turned that. But I got some good distance. Now for the overstable. That is about what I want to see. Alright, so this is going to more resemble a scene in a Batman TV series, but the 3 putters I'm going to be using in addition to the 3 mid-ranges are the Aviar for a straight shot, Aviar 3 for an overstable shot, and relatively speaking for a short-range putter, a very overstable putter with the Pig. And generally what I would do with these is try to get as close as I can and then try to make it. And I'm going to do it with these 3. Okay, all those are easy tap-ins. Likewise, the same from here. I'm not going to do this with every throw, but I wanted to do this to start. Okay, easy tap-ins. And again, from my best throw. Don't really expect to make this too often because it's like 20 plus feet. Alright, so I'm going to safari this up a little bit. I'm going to go from a little bit off where the tee pad normally is just for a better shot. I'm going to do standstill here. Turned it. That's the understable one. That's the one I need to try not to turn. I need to hyzer it a little bit. And this one's straight. That's about what I want to do. This one can be a little more straight or slight Annie. Okay. Alright, so those 2 are actually parked. That's the benefit of throwing 160 feet with my max distance being between 160 and 180 is it makes it relatively easy for me to get close but not go too far. 3 of those were essentially soft bids at the basket. And just so you can see, my Rock 3 is here, the Mako 3 is there, so easy tap ins. Alright, again, I'm going to fire this up a little bit. The T-pad to hole 3 is up there on the hill, on the sidewalk. I just don't feel like going up there. Oh my god, that is my first ace on camera. Although it's a weird safari ace, but whatever. I don't expect luck to strike twice. It's a good bit. Just past the basket. Alright, with the basket over here, my other 2 discs making it just past, I'm going to make a couple soft bids from each of them towards the basket. Again, this isn't a scored round, it's just practice. Alright, I'm somewhere near the T-pad here on hole 4. That's longer than I can reach. It's probably twice as long as I can reach, so I'm going to try to make 3 decent throws with these mid-ranges. That's about what I expect. Burned that a little too low. Let me see if I can raise it up just a tiny bit. There we go, that's what I want to see. That is it. Alright, so I pulled my disc just out of this puddle just to the right, like 1 foot, so it won't keep moving because it's basically kind of floating around in the water. I'm going to make 3 upshots with my putters towards the basket. I should actually try this with my forehand. All decent looks at a putt. I'm going to practice my throws to that basket, which is approximately 200 feet from where I'm going to tee off. I didn't give that quite the height I wanted to. Maybe I can correct here. I gave that too much height, and so it became an anhyzer. So, take 3 action. Burned that into the ground. Alright, so the thing to remember is I've probably thrown backhand maybe 100 times more than I've thrown forehand, so I'm going to see a lot of errant shots with the forehand or sidearm. A little too much power, a little too much over. That's about what I wanted. Okay, 2 easy putts, 1 difficult one. Alright, just so you know, this was 3 feet from the basket. This pig was maybe 20 feet. and this Aviar 3 was about 30 feet from the basket. Regardless, I'm now at my second throw, the Rock 3. Now I'm gonna, with my forehand, try to approach. That's like 90 feet away. Those are all probably about within 20. I'll go check. Alright, so the Aviar and Pig were 22, 23 feet away from the basket respectively, not easy putts. And this was 10 feet away. That would be considered an easy putt. That said, I'm now at my, I guess my original throw, the Star Manta. And I've got 3 good attempts to putt. I'm about 45, 50 out. They're all within 10 feet. Oh yeah, that's maybe 8 feet, 10 feet, and right under the basket practically. Alright, as near as I can tell from the map, I'm around about where the tee pad is, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next basket. Hopefully you can see my feet. That is one of the fascinating things about sidearm, is you're essentially throwing low. When you're throwing backhand, you're throwing at a higher angle. So straight can often be a little more challenging. So wow, just behind the basket. It's scary how good I am with this relative to my backhand, considering how little time I've spent doing this. I mean, if you've watched all my videos, you've seen nearly every one of my sidearm throws, outside of a tiny bit of upshot practice at home, but I can't do driving practice at home. Alright, so this Rock 3 and that Manta, this is about 20 feet from the basket. That's about 18 feet. A Mako 3 you can't see, but I'll putt from last. It's a little bit further. I should have committed to that. Like that. Sometimes commitment doesn't matter. So I moved my bag over just behind the Mako 3. That's about 25 feet. I'm now here about 18 feet away. Just want to point out, sometimes commitment isn't enough. There's skill and other variables that come into play, but you hate to putt and miss or throw and miss because of a lack of commitment, because that's something you can't control. That was going to look good for the camera. Let's go. Okay, so I'm a little bit ahead of the tee pad for this hole. I'm about 260 feet by my measurement from that basket. That's about my max range with the backhand. I'm going to see what I can do with the sidearm. I've got this where I'm starting, so it's about 6-8 feet of walking ahead. I need something overstable for that shot. That said, I'm going to try to adjust a little bit using a slightly more overstable mid-range. I effectively did the same thing. I'm going to shut the camera off for that plane. It's Thanksgiving, so there's a lot of airplane traffic. Completely understandable. Lastly, my most overstable mid-range. A little too high, but honestly at my skill level, totally fine with that. Alrighty, the disc closest to where I was launching these from is the Rock 3. It's a good, I want to say 60 feet from the basket. Technically I could throw a putt towards it, but we're here to see sidearm, aren't we? So 3 of these to get kind of close. Kind of fluffed that. It's a bit more of what I wanted, but that was, there we go. Satisfied with all 3 of them, but the one I liked the most was that last one, the Pig. I dialed it in a little bit, so that's good. Alright, so my second closest throw is the Manta, and it's about, I'm going to say 45 feet, whereas my Mako 3, something along the lines of maybe 37, 38 feet. I'm now close enough where I can realistically try to putt it in. I don't need a sidearm approach. I need to try to ring something up. Would be better if I could. Just past it. Ah, so close. Very happy with all 3. Alright, so one of these was about 15 feet away, the other 2 were about 6 to 8 feet away, so I consider that a success. All soft, but maybe terrible bids. Alright, according to U-Disc, I'm approximately 215 feet from there. I don't know, I guess that's good enough. That being unstable combined with my, I think, nearly flat release, and this wind going this way, I think that explains to some extent why the discs are going that way. I mean, you can see on the camera what I'm doing, so you're more tuned in with what I'm doing than I am. I think I actually turned that, so that's going to be on me. That's what I like to see. Alright, here's my Mako 3, my second throw. My first throw with my Manta is up there, just behind my bag, so it's easier for you to see. My Rock 3 is over there, you can't see it due to the weight of the angle of the slope. Anyways, let's get some sidearm upshots. I like all those, fairly easy putts. Alrighty, I'm something like 45 from the basket, so realistically I need to try to make it in, at least put some soft bids in there. That Pig is overstable as beep. Okay, those are all pretty close. One thing I'll say is this Pig is, in my opinion, more overstable relative to this Rock 3. Even if you were to use them both as putters, this would still be slightly more overstable, and I think it's deserved for its lower speed rating because it's not designed to go far. Regardless, I'm about 55 feet out from the basket, and I'm going to go and give it a go. I really should do some sidearm approaches, so I will. I'm better at sidearm approaches than I'm at putting approaches, apparently. I think it's because when you're putting and you're using so much of your strength to get a certain distance, but you're essentially doing a very casual flick using a lot less energy, you can control things a little bit better that way. Alright, so my furthest throw out is tied between the Aviar and the Aviar3, so I'm just going to close it out by putting from this Aviar. I should just put it on camera, but I just dropped these in from there, and because it's downhill, you're basically just letting it fall in. It's kind of funny. Alright, that is going to do it for this practice round. I'll close up it in just a second. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to get it a little bit of time to practice some sidearm because that seems to be the more accurate throw for me at this time, even at its formative stage where I've spent so little time developing it. Like when I started this channel as a disc golf channel 7-8 months ago, I practically never used sidearm at all, not for any reason, not even for emergencies. And in the last 7-8 months, I've decided to use it a little bit more incrementally, and more recently in the past few months as my backhand has been struggling and as I've wanted to diversify my throwing portfolio, for lack of a better phrase. But very happy with the disc that I use as well. Got an understable, stable, and overstable disc, stable, overstable, very overstable putter, mid-ranges and putters. Very happy with it, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.